everyone. Just popping in really quick. We're going to be getting started in just a few minutes. So get seated, situated, and we will see you soon.
I was born to walk through the fire. Yeah. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmother, you'd understand what I mean. I was born for this mission. I do not need no permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmothers, you'd understand why I'm free. I was born for this mission. I do not need no permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmothers, you'd understand what I mean. I was born for this mission. I do not need your permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmothers, you'd understand why I be. I was born for this mission. I do not need your permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmothers, you'd understand why I'm free. I was born for this mission. I do not need your permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. My mama raised me to be. And if you knew my grandmothers, you'd understand why I sing. I was born for this mission. I do not need your permission to be who I was born to be. That's me, born to walk through the fire. That's me, mama raised me to be. That's me, understand who I be. I was born for this mission. I do not need no permission to be who I was born to be. That's me.
Hello, everyone.
I was born.
Welcome to our final live breakthrough session for I Don't Believe in Astrology. As we get started, tell us in the chat where you're tuning in from. Oh, happy birthday. John's back from Honduras. We've got Texas, Ohio, Norway, Canada, California, Florida, Alabama, Connecticut, Chicago, Limerick. Love this. New Zealand, New Mexico. Amazing. I want to say thank you once again to everyone out there on behalf of all of us here at DSA for being here with us, for keeping your heart open, and for being a huge part of this journey and experience with us. Remember, we are running a giveaway we will share our final bonus entry code in today's session. Use the weekend to catch up on anything you may have missed and get your entry points towards one of our amazing prizes. And don't forget, you do get points for pre-ordering Deborah's new book. So make sure you do that before the end of the day today and grab your extra points at astrologycontest.com. Winners will be announced on our special live virtual celebration taking place on Tuesday, April 8th. Now is the time to raise your hand and enter your birth date, exact time, and location, and a member of Team DSA will reach out to you so Deborah can call on you later during the laser astrology sessions. We will select a few of you to potentially work with Deborah live. Getting selected does not guarantee you'll be called up, but we will strive to get to as many of you as we can. And remember that once the meditation starts, submissions will be closed. If you're chosen, a member of Team DSA will message you directly on Zoom. Please make sure to press the button to accept the Zoom invite as a panelist. During the transition, you may see a black screen or it may look like you're getting disconnected, but please know you're not being kicked out. You're just getting moved into a different role on Zoom. So for those of you who really resonate with the theme of seeing through the eyes of love, now is the time to have your birth information ready and raise your hand if you'd like to be selected as a possible volunteer participant. Can you believe that this is our final session together? Again, we're so thankful for your participation. Now, make sure you stay until the end of this session to grab your very special bonus. And let's turn it over to Deborah for another incredible session.
And let's turn it over to Deborah. It's like that thing with Johnny Carson. And here's Johnny.
There you go.
Yeah.
Or Vanna White. I'm a little bit of everything, right, Deborah?
I'm a little bit of everything. It's a little bit cold. It's early in the morning in Hawaii, and we're kind of having a windstorm. So if you see any wind moving around my head, you'll know why. Welcome, everybody. Thank you, Lisa. The moon is in Cancer. Can we look at the chart of the day of the moment? Do we have that in the background? And this is something really important for all of you beginner, brand new astrology interest people. And for those that have been studying, every day I wake up in the morning and I honestly do this. And I start the day by finding out where is the influence of the moon, because the moon, and it's so interesting because our conversation today is all about the observer. The moon is kind of the opposite of the observer. The moon is what we stare at. There's more poetry written to the moon than any other object in the world. I love that so much. We're so in love with that beautiful object, that magical creature. So we look to see where's the moon, and it's at 10 degrees of Cancer. There it is. And it's in a red line to the sun. If you take that red line from the sun to the moon, that's because the sun's in a fire sign, Aries, and the moon is in a water sign, Cancer, and fire and water don't get along. So there's some tension in the sky. And therefore, you might be feeling when you woke up emotional. You might be feeling reactive. I'm curious if you're feeling it at all. There's a kind of moodiness. It was really strong yesterday because there's 5 planets in water. So let's look at the water column over there, the left. There's fire, earth, air, and water. On the left is the initials that stand for each of those elements. And we look in the water column and we see the moon, we see Mars, Mercury, Venus, Saturn, and the north node is that little headset, but that's not a planet. So there's 5 planets that are in water today. And it's a seriously, Elise Laporte, you got it. It's a seriously moody day. Now, knowing that, and to me right now in this chart here in Hawaii, there are 5 planets in the 12th house. So see in the middle of the circle, there's a little dial with all the numbers that go from 1 all the way around the circle to 12. Each piece of that pie of the circle is a piece of life. It describes an arena. And the 12th house, get ready, the 12th house is the house of magic. It's the very last house. So it describes the end of karma or the culmination of karma or the desire to be quiet because we've had so much life. We're like, can we stop now? So it can be on one hand, the sleeping house where we're exhausted. I don't know how many of you, I know my team has been sitting perched on their seat doing this for all of us for the whole week, not to mention the preparation required. So we're at that end moment. And it's interesting that right now in astrology, the sun is rising right over there, that's the east, and the sun just rose. Can you show us the circle and the dot? The horizon's the big black line in the middle. So that's a picture of the sky. That's the horizon. And in the middle of the circle is where the person is giving birth. And if they look at the horizon, the eastern horizon, they'll see the sun just came up. And that is simple astrology. And when I teach, it's that simple. Because what happens with astrology is I could say to you, the sun is conjunct Neptune and Neptune's conjunct Mercury, which is conjunct Venus, conjunct Saturn, trining Mars. And I just said nothing to you. That was all gibberish. It's called jargon. And our system in astrology, I promise you, I teach simple astrology so that it's applicable. And the reason why we call our school Applied Astrology is this very reason. The interesting part, now look at Neptune. It's right next to the sun and it's at 0 degrees. Neptune looks like a tuning fork. And see that 0? That only happens very rarely. The 0 degree is a very unusual, it describes somebody who is on a cusp. So in the last week, for the first time in 175 years, ready? Neptune, you can go over to the English, to the far left. There's Neptune. The symbol has English next to it. And then the 0 degree, and then the word Aries. So in the last week, for the first time in 175 years, Neptune just entered Aries. What does that mean? It means that I just did a live, an Instagram live with Aubrey Marcus. I don't know how many of you know Aubrey Marcus, but he wrote the foreword in my book. Aubrey Marcus is a warrior for love. It's exactly Neptune and Aries. It's funny. He is here on this planet with 1 million followers because he's created himself as an influencer. So if you're interested in learning more about him, there's a podcast, and he started the podcast and said, I didn't believe in astrology. And after I did the 4E process with him, which was he starts the podcast by saying, I just took a deep dive with Deborah Silverman for 3 hours doing something called 4E that no one knows what it is. But what he finally stated, and it's in the beginning of my book, is, and now I do believe in astrology. It was the best beginning. And then we spoke about this new arrival of Neptune being in Aries at 0 degrees, which happened the last time, ready? 175 years ago, right during the Civil War. So I don't want to scare you, but I'm going to tell you that astrologically, Neptune entering Aries is a final fight, like the fight for love. But in order to find love, often we fight or we break our hearts. Or you know that memory when you were a kid, you can stop sharing, Neptune at 0 degrees Aries. Remember when you were a kid and you had just had your first love affair, or maybe you were a teenager, maybe you were in your 20s or your 30s, and your heart opens and you're like, da, 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 and now I'm ready to open my heart. And then something happens. He's the wrong guy. You're the wrong girl. It's the wrong time. You're in the wrong cities. It's the wrong I don't know, the drama, the continual drama. That marker of when the heart breaks is actually another way to say the heart breaks open, just like the earth. Something breaks, there's an openness. So Neptune entered Aries in our whole country in America, but I'm going to say all over the world. There's an opening that's available for us, and we're going to see whether or not we as a species are evolved enough to make the transition from fighting to love. And this is why we study astrology, because if my heart's not open to who I am, if I'm not conscious of what I came to do, I'm going to argue with life. And arguing with life doesn't work. And all the Civil War is, can I say this, is a external reflection of what's going on the inside. That one part of you says yes, and one part of you says no, and one part of you is soft, and one part of you is hard, and one part of you loves people, and one part of you can't stand them, and one part of you wants to be in relationship, and one part just wants space. This is the polarity that exists between the sun and the moon. But in this moment, Neptune's in Aries for the first time in 175 years, and that polarity of us having war and peace is in the zeitgeist, and we get to decide, could we change that story? You bet we could. So all those polarities, Ray, Faye, that you just said you related to, it's profound because you're living in a reality that is based on a sun moon, a right brain, left brain, a man and a woman, the winter and the summer. The polarity continues, black and white, Christian and Baptist. I don't even know how those Christians all fight amongst themselves, but that level of differences is what astrology soothes because we love the diversity. We love the 12 signs. We think they all work together as a dancing partner. And we think there's a way to create harmony in this world if you can do it on the inside. And there's only one way to do it on the inside, and that's through the observer. And that's through meditation. And that's through getting together in a room full of people. Here we go again. There's a whole bunch of people in this room. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much. I know that you heard Lisa say it, but I want to say it again. I can't tell you, and guess what, you guys? If you go on to Amazon, my book has reached a bestseller on Amazon. And it's because of you. It's because of you. So that's not the New York Times bestseller. However, it is a bestseller and it's because of you. Woohoo! So thank you guys. It's all you because of my order. That's right, Heather Giles. It's because of your order. So don't underestimate the ability for you to buy the book. But you know what's even more important, you guys? And I'm going to spend today really helping you is considering the real commitment, which is studying astrology. It's one thing to buy the book, and I want you to have, it's like a potato chip. I'm going to give you one potato chip, and then you're going to want the whole bag. And that's called our school. So please don't let me distract you, even though I want you to buy the book. What I really want you to do is to study you. And we have a platform you all know that's on the internet called Come Study You. It's all about you. I couldn't have been the bestseller without you. Don't you dare ever underestimate the role that you play in my world as I play in yours. Look what's happened over the last, is it 5 days, Lisa? It feels like 3 years.
It's been 5 days, yes, but it's been quite the journey, Deborah.
It's been 5 days of quite a journey, and the goal of the game is for you, every single one of you in this room. I want you just to stop for a second. I don't care whether you've taken the school, whether you've never heard of me before, whether you just found us. Stop for a second and take a deep breath with me. Let's hold it at the top. And then slowly breathe out gratitude. I am so thankful. I'm so thankful that I found you. I can say that to you and you can say that to me. Because if there were more people like you and me who were genuinely interested in putting our hand on our heart and our tummy during the day, bowing our head, taking a breath, and what I'm going to teach you today about the observer, there's nothing more important in the whole wide world because that's what brings peace. That's Neptune and Aries. That's us going behind the veil. The observer sneaks behind. Remember in The Wizard of Oz when she pulled back the curtain and she was like, oh my, it's just a man. Toto, it's just a man and he's pulling these. That's still true. There's someone behind the curtain who makes your blood the exact pH balance, who gives your kidney the job, who tells your bladder what to let go of, who creates unbelievable digestive capacity. And then unbelievably, every time I go to the bathroom, I'm like, this is like a miracle. But we take it for granted because he's behind the curtain. That part, that's what Zach Bush said, is out of the free will zone. You are going to breathe this air and you're going to have to drink water and you're going to have to eat today and you're going to have to go to bed and you're going to have dreams. Those are non-variables. That's like a given. That's hard facts about this reality. Here's the free will button. It lives between your ears. And it's the option of you choosing every single day. And today's the day you're going to do this under this unbelievable Neptune at 0 degrees of Aries. We're changing it. You have the free will button to choose today, this moment. I matter. I can take my personal experience and my karma and my dharma and the heaviest things and the best things and I can stop time and put my attention on my awareness. And by doing so, something kind and gentle and loving occurs. I love that song by India. I hope we can play it again, you guys. If you listen to the words, India Ari is one of my heroes in life. I don't know how many of you know her work. If you stay to the end of this today, you're going to hear the song in the world that Oprah endorsed and put her on the show called I Am Light. And India took level 1 and she took level 2, and she and I talk astrology constantly because she needed to figure out what the agreement was she made with her grandmother and her mother so she could fulfill her destiny and not care what anyone else thought, because she's a Libra. And that's why we take the school. Because once you ask the question, what can I do? What do I do? What do I do to fulfill my purpose, to get back to center, to change my narrative, to take the gremlins and what do I do? Oh, I know. I turn on my awareness. I study astrology. I don't care what you study, by the way. If it's not astrology and it's the Enneagram or it's the gene keys or it's human design or it's I Ching or it's yoga, I don't care what you do, but just notice I said all those things in a row because we are in an era called the Aquarian Age, and you're in it in cyberspace without a body. Well, you've got a body, but I can't touch you, but I can touch you. See what I mean? Okay. We should all start voting for people who meditate daily. Morris, that's really good. Start a book club, said Marissa. I don't believe in astrology. 7 girls bought it and they joined. You started a book club? Oh, thank you so much. My ego's on a time out, said Tracy. Okay, let's do a meditation. Is that the right time, Lisa?
Absolutely, Deborah.
Thank you. She's like the best mom. Okay, can we all stop time? I'm so grateful that I found you, Dolores. 600 people. I want you to just visualize in your mind in this room, but then there's people in another screen, and then there's people in another screen, and then we ended up with 20,000 people watching these videos. So I want you to know it's like we're in a big, giant, radical voting room, and you're voting right now by your exercising your will of the free will button. You're voting for free will, and we're unifying our field and we're amplifying the energetics, and we're sending out a wave that says, let's all do it together. Ready? We bow our head. We slow down time. We take a natural breath. I always rock. I put my hand on my heart. I am in such deep gratitude. Each of you use my words as your own. I'm in such deep gratitude. Allow my mind to come to peace. Help me spend the next hour and some with this family so I can create a new precedent that says, love is real. I am love. I am loved. The presence of my higher self is sitting in my room. My guides are watching me right now. I want you to put your mind in a seat to the left of you in a chair and tell it, I don't need a debate. I don't need a conversation. You're there to sit because I am the governor. I'm the commander. You sit down, mind, and hear my words. I am love. I am loved. My higher self is in the room. The angels are watching. I forget sometimes to stop time and bow my head, but I'm here now. Assist me to remember. I long to fulfill my purpose. I want nothing more than for my family of earth people to know peace. And it starts here in this group. In just this moment, I'm sitting in peace. And now this moment. I've reduced the noises in my mind, the gremlins, because I put them in their seat over there. And I've called forward my guides and my angels and those I cannot see to come and make their presence fully experienced in my imagination, in my heart, in my knowing that they are here. Forgive the human race. Innocently, they've believed the rumor that we're all separate, that we have to fight with each other, that we have to live in a world of fear. It's not safe here. Forgive my family of earth beings. They believed in those rumors. In this moment, I am safe. Do that again. In this moment, I feel safe. Just take a breath, slow it down. It's a new word for some of us. I'm safe because I'm connected to my higher self. I'm learning about my observer and I'm slowing down. I'm imagining and beginning to believe that my higher self and my guides and my angels and my ancestors and even the dogs that loved you, that they follow you around from the other side. The cats, the dead children, the relatives, those people you left behind, they're with us right now. In the sanctification of a unified field where there's a group of people who are all surrendered to a higher mind, we're not surprised at all that we feel so calm. It doesn't matter the sounds in the room or what's going on earlier today or what's going to go on later. In this moment, I feel peace. This is why I rock. This is why I hold my heart. This is why I bow my head. This is why I close my eyes to enter into the sacred space that waits and waits and waits for us. And then we come across a webinar like this that reminds us how simple the technology is to come home. Taking another deep breath, holding it at the top. Breathe out. I'm safe. I'm safe now. I'm safe in this moment. Right now, I feel safe. Let your face relax. Let your arms relax. Under the effect of a moon in Cancer, there's an emotional sensitivity. Thank you, Goddess, for giving us the gift of our heart, our tenderness, our vulnerability. Thank you to Father God for being strong enough to show us that nothing can break the strength of love. It will always return. You'll always recover. That pulsating red blood running through your heart never gives up on you ever until your last breath. You can count on this miracle, this temple that you live in, and there is a heart. Right now, put your attention on your heart. Take a deep breath in. Slowly breathe out. Love. I'm beginning to understand love at the spiritual level that requires nothing but my eyes being closed, my head being bowed, my attention on my heart, and the voice of truth. I'm safe. I'm loved. The angels are watching. They're smiling. Your higher self is so happy you're here right now. Reciprocate. Imagine you were looking up at your higher self with your eyes closed, smiling. I am so grateful that this lifetime you protect me, you take care of me, you show up for me, you're always there, even when I can't see you, when I don't believe you, when I forget. It doesn't matter. You're always with me. Brings tears to my eyes to think of the devotion that the soul, your higher self, your angels have for you. They are so in love with you. And then we come back and you can put your hands on your heart or your tummy, and this physical experience, the gremlins that live in my head, the voices that seem to never stop, they don't remember how to slow down until I tell them to. This is what my book is about. How do I activate your observer? She or he waits for you in the wings. standing next to your higher self, waiting for you. And here you are now. So in this moment, we're changing everything. Sit up a little bit taller. It's as though it's your birthday. We acknowledge the moon in Cancer offering our hearts tenderness. And while it could be sad for all that came before where I didn't trust, I didn't know I was loved, I didn't know I was loved. When life has its way with me and throws me up against a circumstance, I forget in this moment, forgive me. I'm back. I'm here now. I'm starting all again with another deep breath. And just breathe out here and now. All I have right now is this here and now. And for that, I am so grateful, so humbled. In a moment, we're going to open our eyes. But before we do, your higher self wants to give you a love note. Perhaps it'll be a word or a sentence. Take a moment and activate the presence of your higher self close to your ear and listen to the whisper of the message or the word that your guides want you to hear. Go ahead, listen. Take another deep breath. Repeat what you heard. Let that word or that phrase or that sentence just run through your veins, run through your soul. Now, slowly, when you're ready, you're going to open your eyes and write down what you got. What was the word? Look at the beautiful words. Cocoon and butterfly. That was so beautiful. I love you so much. It's her birthday today. You are one. You are one. Slow and steady. Come together. Trust me. Acceptance, bliss. Meditate, breakthrough, sleep, loving, calm, safe, tranquility, unconscious love. Great oneness. Just keep swimming. Forgiveness, abundance. I am enough, said Pam. Unconditional love, said John. I love you too. This is so beautiful. Look what we just did. This is what the function of cyberspace and getting together in a group of people is, what you see right there. To generate a positive wave of energy that will absolutely soothe and soften. They did studies. Do you know about this? When the Maharishi came here and taught meditation, and they were in Iowa, there was less crime. They have a university there that teaches meditation, and crime, like within hundreds of miles, diminished. The frequency that we're generating right now is called a unified field, and its effects are called which Rupert Sheldrake made up, the morphogenic field is affected when enough people do something enough times. It becomes the norm. Can we all imagine a world where before they start their day, so many on my team do this. I know that Melinda and I, the CEO that runs this whole dream, starts her day in meditation. I start my day in meditation. If all of you just 5 minutes, like I'm so happy to be here and I'm so thankful and I do what it takes to put my candle on and get my incense burning and sanctify the day as though I lived in a temple, as though there were guides sitting next to me, as though I had a higher self that was watching me, as though there were some people that have a vested interest on the other side that Deborah Silverman would be able to contribute to all of you. And so you know what they do for me? They gave me my observer and they softened my ego so that I could be comfortable in being in front of you. That was a feat. Some people, it's very scary to do public speaking. They say the two greatest fears in the humans are public speaking and dog bites. You ever heard that before? Yes, and Jesus was right. Of course that's true. Of course Buddha was right. Of course the ancient ones were right. This truth that transcends all time and space, that there are angels and guides and beings, and there's a veil, all of that is so true. What a beautiful, beautiful gathering. And the energetics that we're contributing to the human race right now are going out. Under the influence of Mercury and Venus and Saturn and Pisces and Mars and Cancer, they're all dancing, we're dancing, and before you know it, we enter into another level of consciousness that doesn't resemble the one that came before. It doesn't resemble the one that came before because you're here. And the next time you're sitting with your best friend and she starts to get snarky or sassy, you do this thing I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to teach you how to do it. The first clue is you take a breath, you don't react. It's not easy. I'm going to tell you that right now. You don't react, you take a breath and you go, wow. Observer on. Thank you so much. That was perfect timing. This is the superpower of the observer. The observer sees what's going on without judging it. So here's the clue. Your best friend or your ex-boyfriend or your mother-in-law just said something that triggered you. And you have two choices, and I don't have a preference for either. One is you emotionally react in the moment and you get pissed off and you go, don't do that. Or you match them and you go, you do that too, and you lose it. That's one option, and it's real. And I can't take that away from you because that's human, and I love you for being human. I am not asking you to walk over your humanness. When you study astrology, you get more human. Part two is you remembered what's in the middle here. You're not the pain. You're the one watching the pain. That person triggered you. You use them to hurt your feelings, but they're not hurting your feelings. It's a big distinction. You realize that there's a two-way team and everything that goes on is in service to you seeing if you can stay awake. This just happened to me recently. I was at a friend's house. She said the weirdest thing. It was so not logical. And I found out later that she had been coming off an addiction. I didn't know, but she was very reactive and she used me as her trigger because I've got a very small personality. You probably didn't notice. So she sprayed the stuff on me that it came from nowhere. It wasn't true. And my opportunity in real life, when my observer's on, I can just look over. But this moment was too many times she had done it and I had gone neutral. So this was my turn. So I just said, stop it. Just like that. Harsh, human, direct. I used my fire. She slowed down. Then I got in the car and I ruminated. What did I do? I wanted someone to agree with me. I had all the human nature responses. Why did she do that? And then within, I'm going to say 10, 15 minutes, my real me came on, the observer. And I observed. And then the healing took place. I healed it for her. I healed it for me. I don't have any judgments. I know I'm human. I don't make it wrong when there's reactivity in the room. I'd prefer to live in a state of peace. It's not happening. Have you noticed? So the first half of the book is me cultivating permission for you to be human and to stop feeling bad about it, you guys. I could give you dozens and dozens of examples where I got my feelings hurt. I say it with a smile because it makes me endeared. I feel like there's something so human about saying to you, I get my feelings hurt. Now that's water. Yes. And like you, Delinda, my moon's in Aries, and I can be impulsive. That's not water, that's fire. And that's the conflict in the sky, and that's Neptune and Aries. When the energy gets tense, when there's a clash or a bump, the reactivity is impossible to solve. You must get angry, sad, frustrated, quiet, talk, whatever your behavior. We're going to talk about that today based on your Mercury. And then comes, ready? The breath that we're practicing every day. One breath. A check-in to reality. Look around. Hold on, hold on, hold on. There's a part of me waiting in the wings called my observer to be allowed to say, you know what? It's human. I'm human. She's human. Am I going to hold it against her? I'm in love with her. No, I'm going to write it off as one more encounter to prove how much I love her. Reframe. Next slide. I'm going to read to you from the book. This is so exciting. It's page 33. Let's see what this says. Don't forget to grab a copy. I think we've read this before. Don't forget to grab a copy of Deborah's new book. It's releasing April 8th. Plus, receive extra special goodies when you upgrade to I don't believe in astrology live.com. Oh, and now they gave me the page number, which, by the way, is a master number, 33. I'm going to read to you about Meet the Observer. Without the observer, you're a victim to the whims of your ego and the dramas therein. I just described it. Because the observer is neutral, I want you to think of it like Switzerland. Like, I'm not going to war, said Switzerland. Because the observer is neutral, think of the observer. Oh, it just says that. Think of the observer as Switzerland. It can help you to remain calm when everything's gone wrong. Human nature is reactive. When the observer does, what the observer does is discharge and unplug the reactivity fueled by your ego and your emotional body. Does that make sense? So the emotional body gets angry, gets sad, feels bad, feels something. It's 100% the human condition that the emotional body will never stay neutral. Based on the water element, it's always in motion. That's the nature of water. That's the nature of the emotions. That's the nature of the moon in Cancer today. The variable is there is a place of calm that lives in the middle of the picture. It's just what we do when we meditate. Let me just continue. What is it that keeps us from activating our observer? Gremlins. They know your weak spots and they aim directly at your vulnerabilities. They point fingers, they insult, and they make you at fault or them. That's what we do all day. Everyone, everywhere, everywhere, all day. Whether it's a Democrat or a Republican, or whether it's a Jew or an Arab, or whether it's a Christian or a in Ireland, how they argue between two Christians arguing. Oh, gremlins specialize in interrupting. They have no manners. They are a nuisance. Can you imagine? Now, here's Neptune and Aries today. Can you imagine if your default voice excluded gremlins and it was filled with trust and wisdom? Can you imagine that when you got upset, there was a little voice in your head that said, "Don't worry, I got you." And then I wrote, see, because I'm really blunt and honest. Then I wrote, "Sorry, that's not happening." That's so cute. So I just want to say, it's a design fault. Even when you're the most enlightened, heightened state of peace, without careful practice, gremlins like termites can eat away at the foundation of a healthy psyche. Here's the good news. The more experienced you are, the more you read this book, the more you can turn on your observer. So all I'm saying to you is there is a practice. There's an honest physical way, and we're learning it. You guys have been doing it, and I'm so interested to see if you feel when you finish these sessions a state of peace. And if you can feel it for just that little amount of time, when we're here sitting in this and we're about to finish today, if you can feel it for just that little bit of time, you can feel it when I'm not around. We don't have to go to church. You don't have to go to yoga. You just need to create some space, whether it's crystals in your house or whether it's a candle with some incense, whether it's just a picture of your grandma who you loved and your dog who you loved, and you honor the invisible on the other side. That's enough. If you go for a walk, what a great suggestion. Go for a walk, but you do it slowly and you stop. See, the problem is on our planet is we're in, because everything on this in this universe is in motion. The free will button is used when you choose to stop. But if we don't have a free will button because we're in a rush, because we're a Gemini and we wiggle, because we're in Aries and we're full of beans, because we're a Sag and we have an exciting thought, because we're a Leo, we want to go have fun, because we're all those signs, Aquarius, and we're crazy pants, or Virgo and we're busy, all those signs that wiggle all the time, they feel bad because they're always in motion. They can't find peace. The Tauruses and the Cancers and the Pisces and the ones that want to go slowly and who really do want to take care, they feel guilty because they're not doing enough, because they don't realize, oh, they're the older soul who realize that the doing and the busyness is important. It's so important. How would I be here without it? But not at the expense of the calm. And how do you get to calm? Sit down and read a book. Take a class. Take your mind and give it something to focus on. It's one thing in the meditation to put it in its seat. It's another thing when the mind is given something to chew on, like the stars, like Starburst. I just made that up. Or why is that coffee place called Starbucks? People spend millions of dollars on coffee to wake up. Why don't you spend millions of dollars on stars to wake up? I just made that up. Starbucks, Starburst. I always wanted there to be like, instead of Toys R Us, it would say Stars Are Us. And you'd go in there, it'd be all astrology things. Stardust. All right, I'm going to share with you the whole story about my school. Before I do, I'm going to tell you why you want to take it. Because there's medicine in the observer, but you must know how to stop. Take a breath. Let's do it again. Slow down and breathe gratitude. It's the easiest meditation you've ever done. A breath and a gratitude. And then suddenly you can look over at your ex and you say with compassion, I'm so glad I'm not with you. It's okay to tell the truth. I'm so glad I'm not with you, and help me to forgive you. This is what the observer does. You look over, first of all, you say that what in your childhood, that was for you don't bypass. My teachings are do not get spiritual before it's authentic. And this is a muscle. This is a learned skill. This is just like if I never told you to brush your teeth and you had to do it twice or three times a day, you'd have to learn to do it. It's not natural until it's a learned skill. And then suddenly, magic. This is also true of the observer. And when you observe yourself with love instead of judgment, you do that with others, the whole thing changes. Okay. Yeah, don't get spiritual on me. That's really important. Take next slide. It's not worthy. The most important step of the whole story before you get spiritual, this is why astrology is the first step. First, you have to know thyself. First, you have to know who you are and be at peace with your quirky personality. Nothing is more important. And so we have a school, and the school is so simple, and we have a simple book. This is the shortcut. I don't believe in astrology. A therapist's guide to the life-changing wisdom of the stars. I didn't make that part up. Okay, next slide. See, that's the thing. Everyone talks about having a spiritual practice until someone cuts you off and then you give them the finger. Until your ex calls and you're feeling yourself all rumbling. Until your mother's on the phone, you hear her voice and that's real. And that's not going away. I don't want you to step over your human. That's what astrology is not. It's not asking you to give up your human nature because it's not going away. But there's a difference between talking about spirituality and embodying it. And learning astrology is the practical way to say, I'm going to come study me. I'm going to figure out who I am. It won't be a theory. And because of that, I will have comfort in my skin, which makes it easy to talk in public. If I wasn't comfortable in my skin, I'd be looking at whether I'm having a good hair day. I'd be looking at whether or not my bra's straight. All that ego stuff is exactly the opposite of what I'm talking about. It's the confidence and the courage to be exactly who you are. I want that for you. Next slide. So there's 5 pillars that we teach in our school. Are we going to go through each one, or am I meant to say them all now? Let's see the next slide. Okay, let's go back. You're right. Let's start. I'm going to go through all 5 of these. First of all, the book, The Missing Element. I hope you all know I wrote another book many years ago. No astrology in it at all, just announcement. If you don't know astrology, you might want to start with The Missing Element. In that book, we figured out what was the 4 elements of your personality type. We talked about it a lot this week. And if you're missing one, the system will go off. So at the very beginning of level 1, you are given an assignment, a concrete assignment that's real. It's not just theory. And because you do your homework in the school, and don't take my school if you're not interested in doing your homework. I am not the person that says come to school and take notes and don't ever read them again. I'm the person who says do your homework. And without you doing your homework, I can't promise that your observer will come on. I'm real. I think you probably figured that out. Step number 2 takes us to the mind. The single ingredient that makes or breaks this existence, and this is in my free tarot book, because after you jump on the cliff, the Fool, the first card, the oh my God, I'm coming into this experience. Then you stop off at the Magician in the tarot deck. It's the number 1 card, and he has the 4 elements sitting on his table, because that's what he said. You've got to learn this first. And he's Mercury. So here comes Mercury. Isn't that cool that I did that according to the tarot deck? Which, by the way, there's a booklet for free if you sign up with your receipt. You guys all know that? It's kind of hard to find, I think. I don't know. I could be saying the wrong thing. Lisa, can you talk about that, how they can find that tarot booklet?
Absolutely. So if you go to IDBIA, or I'm sorry, I don't believe in astrologybook.com, that's where you can enter in your confirmation number from your pre-order purchase, and then you'll be on the list to get access to that tarot booklet when it's ready to be delivered.
Okay, and it's free. It's free,
Yes.
and it's this very conversation. The first card is the 0 card. There's 0 again. The Fool jumps into human experience, lands in the body. First stop is the Magician saying, you better learn the 4 elements or you're not going to make it down there. That's Mercury. Get your mind steeped in astrology, in learning the 4 elements in a simple way. We're teaching at 4th grade level. I am a little bit, you can't tell by looking, but I'm a very simple thinker that loves to make things practical, so I don't go too highfalutin or esoteric or off planet. Then the 3rd class, which is where my psychology background comes in, is we find out where you're sabotaging yourself. What's the unconscious part of your character that's built into the nodes? And what is the shortcut to enlightenment? But in that middle class, the deep dive into the 12 signs, I'm going to give you multiple levels of learning. Some are auditory, some are visual, some are written, some are asking you to. I am, because you can't tell by looking, but I had a learning. I have, but I've changed it. I had a learning disability. So when I designed the school, I designed it for multiple modalities. So the people that needed to hear it rather than read it was there. The people that needed to read it rather than hear it, it was there. The people that needed to actually experientially do it with their hands, it was there. So I've made the school really fun and irresistible to every learning style because I had a problem. I like that I made it past tense. Yeah, I learned to remedy it by giving myself permission to admit it, because this is everything I'm about, you guys. Everything at the school's about. When you come into level 1, there's only 10 people in the room. It's very personal and private. And you get to say, yes, here's how I drive myself nuts. Then we go to the very last class, which is finding your purpose. It's Saturn, and it's in the book. Now, if you don't do the school, you can just get Saturn right here in the book. You can look up in the back of the book the year you were born. It's simple. What's your life lesson? And really focus on that. Okay. So there it is. Did you know that every 14 minutes your mind repeats the same series, same sequence of thinking? I catch myself so often. My observer kicks in and I'm like, we're thinking about that again? And I know where my fixation is. I have a funny thing with numbers and my accounts. I have Mercury and Taurus. So as soon as it clicks in and I'm like, we're thinking about that again? And that's the gift of the observer. I'm not going to repeat. It doesn't change anything. It simply makes conscious awareness as the primary. Every astrologer, you know what an astrologer does? She comes off the planet. She looks at the configuration as the card, like these cryptic symbols. She looks at you. Every reading I do, I look straight into your eyes and I go, now tell me your mental constructs. I don't say it that way. I just say, tell me what you're thinking. And blah, 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 all of the things that go in your, and once I give you the key to the door that has the off button, the mental body becomes much friendlier because you learn to put her in his seat. No, you learn to put her in her seat or him in his seat. Discovering the element of your Mercury, just the simple thing. I'm going to show you one thing. This is how you find peace. Go ahead to the next slide. If you've got Mercury in water, and you're only going to know this if you get your chart. So I'll just say to you, if you have your chart nearby for the rest of this webinar, you're going to turn over your chart and say in English, if your Mercury, the little guy with the hat on his head, is in Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, your mind is intuitive. And those repetitive thoughts, thank you, they can get lost in imagination. They can become cold like ice, and your mind shuts down and you can't think because you're resentful, you're depressed, you're reactive. But there's no boundaries, and it becomes obsessive thinking, Mercury and water signs. That's the low road. The high road is intuitive, direct connection to spirit. You can feel other people and you know what your kids are feeling. Or you're so good at listening that your intuition knows when people are lying. Okay, next one. If it's an air, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, now go look at your Mercury. The guy with the hat on is in any three of those symbols. Next card. If it's the low road, you got a busy, busy mind. I'm surprised you're even sitting in this long during this webinar because people with Mercury and air tend to be too fast for their own good, or they're all know-it-alls, or they have these really strong intellects because they were acknowledged in school as highly intelligent, but it means that they sometimes have a hard time taking in other information because they're right or they're wrong, but they're right when they're wrong. I mean, it's a very strong mental body. At the best, they're intellectual, they're wordsmiths, they're curious, and they really do collect new information. At the low road, they're completely scattered. They're doing too many things at once. They can't remember what they said. They do it superficially, and it's fast and smart, but it's too fast. Okay, next. Mercury when it's in Earth, Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. Next slide. If you have Mercury in an Earth sign and you're on the low end of it, it's what I just told you because I have that. The repetitive thought will be about money, will be about security, will be about judging people, will be about wishing their standards, like listening to your inner dialogue. I'm speaking from direct experience. If you get obsessed with results, like this whole thing about buying the book, yes, I so want you to buy the book. And you know what? I swear it's more about you being able to fall in love with you. That's my first true love. Mwah. I love you. Did I just kiss my book? That's Mercury and Earth, the practical contribution that I could make to you that was in love that will make a difference in your life. People with Earth, Mercury and Earth, have to get a list. They have to write down the receipts. They have to keep it all honest and clear and true. If it's the low road of Mercury, they are so obsessed with making you wrong and criticizing you and seeing everything that's not right and being able to be caught by all the things you want to complain about in the webinar and how this didn't work and how that didn't work. And the mind just keeps, oh God, how many of you have that? Sounds like I'm the only one here. And if it's retrograde Mercury, it doesn't matter. This is still true. That's very distracting. That's a perfect example. The mind, instead of listening, it goes off to another thought. What about retrograde? Come back. When I teach, it's very simple. And if you actually listen when the school, I've had such great evidence because we certify astrologers. They can make a living at this. If you do your homework, if you are a good student in real life and you have Mercury in Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn, but you're a little insecure because that's what Mercury and Earth suggests, you never think you're smart enough, I'm here to tell you you're wrong. It just means repetition and consistency, and that's how I teach, by simplicity. So the less you're writing while I'm talking, the more likely your body will internalize these words. The people that forget things because they're not listening, they're being distracted by their mind. Not a bad thing, it's just good to recognize it. Okay, next one. Last but not least, Mercury and fire. If you have Mercury and fire and you're on the low road, that's what happened to that woman. You have opinions and you say shit and you swear a lot. That's a clue of Mercury in Leo, Sag, or Aries. They swear, they say things, they're ready for a fight. Makes me think of all the people I know that have this. They are very, very opinionated. The low road is they don't listen, they just talk. The high road is they inspire people. They're great leaders. They're passionate. And they're really, truly optimistic because fire knows we're safe. You know why fire believes we're safe here? Because they take full responsibility for everything. I'll make you safe. I'll help you. I can do that. I can do that. It's confidence. As distinct from water, if your mind's in water, you suffer from insecurity and you're scared all the time. And also with earth, fire and air, they just feel confident and say things and they're wrong and they don't even care. How am I doing? It doesn't matter if your Mercury's retrograde. You guys are so funny. Stop. That's retrograde. It's very retrograde. You don't need to ask the question. Stop and let this sink in. The retrograde is very subtle. It's less relevant. It's happening right now. It does occur and distract the human brain, and it can prevent someone from being a good student sometimes. On the other hand, they can be geniuses. So it's not as clear as black and white. This is black and white. If your Mercury's in fire, I can promise you, you get in trouble. Okay, next slide. The reason why astrology is better than therapy, Carl Jung said it so well. Psychology will be a dinosaur science until it includes astrology. If I just had $1 for every time I said that sentence across the last 45 years, psychology, see, now let's just stop for a minute. Stop texting. Stop, you guys. People are multitasking. Stop and just listen to let the thought land in your observer. So let's first turn on the observer. You're sitting in front of a computer. You've been with me for 5 days. You're really excited. This is a moment in 2025. We're on April 4th. And sit still with me for a second. And then look at that red on your screen, Carl Jung quoted, and then just let it sink in. Psychology will be a dinosaur science. You can visualize dinosaurs until it includes astrology. All the therapy, all the sight seeking, all the meditating, all the yoga, all the Oprah, all the Enneagram, all of it's beautiful. But until you know who you are and you can actually die and live and be alive with the sense of, thank you, I'm feeling safe, I'm feeling loved, until that's really part of your experience, all the rest of it is worthy. Except the deepest, darkest longing in every psyche is, am I okay? Why am I here? What did I do to get to this existence? Am I going to be loved? Does anyone really care about me? What happened to the people that I loved? Why did they leave? What happened? What is death? Am I ever going to see him again? I'm not going to start crying. Okay. Next slide. Please don't believe it's so complicated and that astrology is so hard to learn. It's not true. The truth is it's very simple, just the way I'm teaching you right now. We practice the elements in live time. It's not theory. We teach you about the observer and your mind in live time. Then you go off to find your shadow. Dun, 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 and then you land with your life lesson. I can't think of anything more important. And you can start saving now. Sarah, that's exactly right. This is why we're doing it so early, you guys. There's a waiting list and we do payments. So don't you dare let money stand in the way of you falling in love with you. Okay, next. In applied astrology, you'll come to understand there's elements, there's planets, and there's signs. That's it. And lucky for you, the planets and the signs are very friendly. But more importantly, you'll be able to answer the difficult questions that matter the most. I did it again. What's my purpose? How can I love myself? And why am I the way I am? Oh, yeah, there's definitely a payment plan. Because I created this for you, because not everyone has money. That's not part of everyone's dharma or karma. It's not necessary. But there are ways to be budgeting and responsible and really care about the spiritual lessons you're learning. Then the money appears, I promise. I created this for you, but they don't realize that here's what it has. It's easy bite-sized bits. I teach like I'm teaching you now. Water's wet. It's the emotional body. It's tears. Air is the thinking and the thoughts and the constant ideas and the unbelievable flakiness and the scatteredness, and they're airheads. Earth, the practical people. They garden, they cook, they clean, they organize, they take care of their money, and they get a little bit stuck. Fire. Oh, boy, is this fun. I didn't even stay to the end, but I know Deborah's selling something and I really want to do it because I love it. I'm going to do 2. I'll take 2 books. That's fire. And then it's all online. Announcement. It's all online in a Zoom room with just 10 people in the room. That's it. And they study your chart. So it's not theory. It's not off planet. It's not some famous people's charts. It's yours. Okay, next one. And what you get is you get live classes with your mentor who has studied your chart, and you get a one-on-one call with your mentor. So it's very personal. And then there's teachings, and then you have a lifetime access. Here's the thing. You're not going to learn it all in the 6 weeks. I promise. You'll learn a lot, and it'll all be recorded, but it's there for you to go back to for the rest of your life. And you get excerpts from my book. You know how I love to meditate? Well, I'm going to give you some free meditations, and then I'm going to just show you how to love astrology. Okay. There's one-on-one, I said that, one-on-one session. I come in and I show up with a question and answer cycle. There's open house with the mentors. There's 30 beautiful mentors that we love. I think there's more than 30 now. And then my team, if you haven't noticed, Lisa and everyone behind us that are all listening now, are here to serve. I mean, we all carry the same premise. How can I be of service? And then you get a support buddy. You get to make a new friend and be part of a community because we can't do this alone. So it's by tonight, you guys. It's not a hard decision. We never had this before. You get 50% off the inner circle. That is so crazy. So after you finish the school, you have this continual education program for the rest of your life. That's so crazy. And they're doing 50% off.
And you get a copy of Deborah's book.
Oh,
You've already pre-ordered the book, then we'll give you a copy of The Missing Element. So it's a huge bonus pack.
wait. So if they already ordered this book,
They'll get a copy of The Missing Element, yes. But it's all part of this pre-enrollment package when you pre-enroll by midnight Pacific, so 11:59 p.m. Pacific tonight.
so this is if you pre-enrolled to be on the wait list.
To be in level 1 or level 1 and level 2.
Okay, let's make this super clear. If this is amazing. So if you're ready to say, I'm taking astrology come September, and you sign up before midnight, you're going to get this entire package, which it's like I don't know, that's a lot of things.
It's the biggest thing we've ever done, Deborah, and we've not done a pre-enrollment before. So this is very unprecedented, but it's all in honor of this event experience and all of you out there.
So you guys, it's not just the school. This is not, I mean, not just the book. We're asking if you want to start in September to get on the wait list and you sign up before tonight. And can they use the once they do this, they get the payment plans put in place after?
We do have payment plans available, and all the information is available on our site at appliedastrology.me. And then if you have any specific questions about payment plans or anything like that, you can reach out to our team at info@deborahsilvermanastrology.com.
Okay, so the cost for level 1 is $1,000, and it does occur in payment plans across months. So there's no real reason, like there's a way to help you financially be able to do this. But most important, you have to really ask yourself, as I've been presenting this whole morning or afternoon or evening or wherever you are, is there, in the oracle in Greece on top, when you walked in the door, it said, know thyself. It was the ancients' wisdom that has crossed all time. Because if you leave this lifetime, I feel like I'm scaring you, but it's true. If you leave this lifetime without the understanding of who you are, you just come right back and do it all over. And that's not a bad thing. Come back and do it all over. It's a beautiful gift. But here's the thing. You know how you've met the coolest people in this room? Every single time one of these characters show up, you're like, who is that person, Ash Ruiz? Who is that person, Blue and Lily and those unbelievable women that were fire, that were called Donette and Emily? Who was that crazy, unbelievable excitement that came through Deborah Silverman? You know how that happened? Because in past lives, we did the work. And if you do the work, you do the spiritual work consistently, the accumulation of the merit, of the wisdom, of the studies, it becomes a package deal, just like this. And then when you get to the pearly gates and they're getting ready to set you up for the next lesson, series of lesson, they're going to show you a package like this. And they're going to go, you have till tonight to make the decision. Do you want to incarnate? And you're like, with all that, I'll know astrology. I'll be able to stay awake inside the dream. I'll have my observer and I'll be able to be grateful. I'll go back down there. Now that's a real thing. And every character you met that has been part of our community and that works for us, they are all beings who said, I want to wake up inside the dream. And I'm willing to use astrology as the ladder, as the trampoline, because it's a really quick way to understand the ancient tools brought to us by a language that was put in place 4,000 years ago, going, we're doing this so you don't forget. When you find this language, jump on it. And I'm telling you the truth, this is not a sales pitch. This is the laws of this universe is consciousness controls the level of your success. You can be super successful because your parents did, that you can have lots of money. But if your mind is suffering for feeling unworthy or unmotivated, I just had a client come here and work with me who had all this money, but she lost all her juju and she couldn't find it. That's because she forgot who she came for. The money's not the answer, you guys. It's the feeling of fulfillment when I finish a reading and I can look in someone's eyes and go, I totally got you, didn't I? And you feel seen. And I feel like we just made love with our clothes on. It was completely pure. It was completely divine. And now you can go do the same by studying this class. So that's my sales pitch. I don't know how I did, but I'm telling you, I would run to get this beginner class so that at least finally, once and for all, I can say, and do your homework. Listen, do me a favor. Do not get compelled by my fire. You check in with yourself. When you sign up, are you going to do your homework? Now, mind you, every class is about you. So it's more interesting than usual. Like you're going to learn about your elements. You're going to learn about your thought process. You're going to learn about your missing. All that will be about you. However, you can't get through these classes without doing homework. And I don't want you to sign up unless you're willing to say, yes, I'm ready to know thyself. Okay. And by the way, if you don't have the money right now, don't do it. That's another thing I want to say. I really want to tell people, listen, we're doing great. That book became a bestseller on Lisa. I was flipped out. Woke
I
up this morning.
know.
I couldn't believe it. So we've done our job. We don't need you. I don't want anyone here valuing spirituality over their ground. I want you to stay on earth and keep your world together. And then ask yourself, can I afford to take level 1? And if you can, then there's no excuse at all not to do it.
Absolutely. I so agree. And speaking of, I have two other people that are going to support me in that. I have Jillian here, and I also have Blair came
But I
back.
want you first to tell your story before. Oh my goodness, Blair came back. I'm so excited. Can you just share, because Lisa's story of how she studied astrology and what happened in her life at that time? Can you start? And I love you both. These are two. I'm in love again. Just happened again. Lisa, can you just tell us your story?
Sure. How do I sum it up? Well, I actually was in the middle of the pandemic and my partner at the time was a frontline worker. I had just had my second child, so my kids are 19 months apart, and I had this little tiny little newborn baby. And I just felt like I was losing myself. Like I didn't have my own identity anymore. And I happened to be on the mailing list for all of these emails, and I caught like I think it was a social live, and something just drew me in. But it was actually, interestingly, as I think about it, I was drawn into this idea that I could take what I was going to learn in this astrology class and use it for me and my partner's business at the time. I wasn't exactly clear on how much it would really alter my life. And I'm going to try to say this in a very watery sky without crying because I've got some good eyeliner going on today. My ego doesn't want to ruin it. Um, I don't know. My life has changed radically since then. That partner is no longer here with me. I have two kids. I'm a single mom, and I don't know where I would be without this, without having this really solidified inner constitution of who the hell I am and what I'm capable of. And then also having this incredible community that started as me being a student and just getting loved up on by my fellow students. But then I raised my hand because I had to come like help with this mission. And now I get to spend my days with Deborah and with Jillian and interacting with people like Blair and all of the amazing people behind the scenes. And it means so much to me. And it's given me so much clarity and conviction and purpose.
And so she had two little babies, took level one while they were sleeping, had to
Yes.
coordinate being a mom, and we all know what that's like, and did it all the way till she got through level three, and then suddenly became one of the best. Like she's the everyone that finishes level three is an astrologer. They just don't necessarily practice and get certified. That's different. But you are definitely a brilliant astrologer, you little Aquarian, you.
Thank you.
Okay, oh, that made my heart open. Okay, we're gonna look at how do you look at these two women? I'm in love. I don't know who to pick. Somebody jump in. Who wants to jump in?
I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling the watery moon, and my progressed moon is in Cancer. So just being enveloped in your energy, Deborah, and the energy of this community. And yeah, just through your meditations. And it's just such a gift to be part of this family and this community. So, I was reflecting, and so much of what you said today, I'm like, oh yeah, that was definitely my story. So sort of, my life before meeting you and coming into this family and this community, I felt like I was on this never-ending quest of seeking, of trying to understand what the hell we're doing here. I'm an Aquarius. I have a lot of Aquarius in my chart, feeling very, like what is going on here? Like, what is this human thing? And so I was constantly seeking outside of myself. And I have a lot of air and fire in my chart. And so I can tend to be, even though you probably can't tell by looking, but a bit of an extremist. And so it started when I was quite young. I became very immersed in, counterculture and the rave scene, and everything was about sex, drugs, and rock and roll and music, and, just seeking things outside of myself to kind of bring me to this place that felt like, oh, I get this. And so it wasn't until I went through a very human experience where I
Tell the
was,
story.
what's that?
You can tell the story. It's okay. The moon's in Cancer.
Yeah. So in 2013, I lost my son after childbirth. And that experience really shifted like I was so mad at God, at the universe. Like I was just like, what the F? How can this be real? Right? Like why is what I kept asking. But it dropped me into my heart. Like I was seeking so much outside of myself. And finally, like it dropped me into my emotional body and into my water. And so that really it was an initiation this lifetime. And so that initiation, it opened my heart. And then that's when teachers started to appear, and I started coming into my body. Yoga was a really big vehicle for me on that journey. But it's still, I was still constantly seeking and very much outside of myself. And I heard you, Deborah, on a yoga virtual summit in 2018. And when I heard you, it was like this immediate resonance in my body, like this full body yes. And I bought your book, The Missing Element, and I just started following you around. And, without going too far down the rabbit hole, but similar to Lisa during the pandemic, I went all in. And what astrology and your wisdom, what makes it different is that it drops you, know thyself, right? So where I recognize I was seeking outside of myself, this constant seeking outside of myself. Well, guess what? All the answers are within. And once I started really, having compassion for myself, having compassion for my quirks, and having compassion for the fact that I don't feel like I belong on this earth, or, it was like, oh, no wonder. And then it was like I started really living on purpose, like really embodied, right? And everything has shifted. Everything has changed, and it sounds dramatic to say, but it truly has. Like I am really living my purpose and on purpose. So I
And
am just
Jillian is one of our teachers. She's a certified astrologer. She works in the company and holds down level 3. And just like Lisa, and this happens because karmically agreed upon. When you met me, you felt it. When I met you, I felt it.
yeah.
And then comes my sweet Blair Jones, who's just one of my favorite stories. I don't know, because her Jupiter's exactly on my sun. Her Jupiter's at 1 degree Gemini. I am a Gemini at 3 degrees. So she tickles me. But more than that, I've completely, there's some souls you just look at and you go, why do I like you so much?
Valid. Yeah, I'm not that funny to everyone else, but to Deborah,
I think she's so funny.
which is great. So, Lisa, thank you for your story. I had no idea. Jillian, same. I had no idea. Yeah, it's so interesting how all of our stories brought here. I had no idea who Deborah Silverman was, and she walked through my front door literally. And, then this lady left, and I'm Googling her, and I was like, holy shit. Like, do you realize just who walked through our door? Like literally. And so I get that not everybody has that experience. So my experience was, I've been interested in astrology since 2015. I met an astrologer and I couldn't tell you anything about it, but all I knew, I was just continuously drawn to it. And for the longest time, I had no desire to learn it until I realized, wow, if I'm so drawn to it, I wonder what it would be like if I could apply it to my life selfishly. And then once I did level 1 and once I did level 2, it was in such joy to be in service to others again. I had forgotten that part of people coming to me and asking, can you read my chart? And to do it with such joy and remembering what it's like to, again, be in service of something that I would do for free. For so long, I had been in service to something out of survival. I built a life and a business and a career because I wanted to make it and I wanted to prove to myself that I could. And I was committed to the game of in a masculine world and the 3D financial things. And as Jillian kind of alluded to, that those were just unfulfilling things. And I'm climbing a corporate ladder that I created and I didn't know how to get out of that mess. And so then once I realized, oh my gosh, I wonder what would I do for free? And I couldn't answer that question. What would I do if time and money wasn't an option? I couldn't answer it because I forgot what brings Blair joy. What is in enjoyment for me? And I didn't know. And so I took astrology level 1 and level 2 and level 3 because for the mere fact of selfishly not having a plan of what I was going to do with it, to allow the unfolding to unfold. And it's beautifully unfolded. I had no idea. I put one little cute post on my social media like that I was going to do astrology readings. And and Garen, my husband, had asked, he goes, what's your goal? And I said, if I had 2 people pay me for an astrology reading, that would be the biggest accomplishment in my life, because I'm doing something that I would do for free. And then if someone paid me, this is the ultimate. This is the whole cliche in the back of the book. I don't know if you guys read Chicken Noodle Soup for the Soul. I was like, this is the ending. And then it happened. And then another one happened. And then another one happened. And then all of a sudden there was 100. And I didn't, this was
100.
it was never the plan. And then it was 100 because of someone told someone who told, and then they were all referrals. And then I go, I must be kind of good at this. And my ego really liked it, but more than anything, I show up in service to the other, and I would do it for free, and it's a compliment that someone would pay me to do it, and I don't take it for granted, and I'm so grateful. I literally thought, I said, how would I learn astrology if there wasn't Deborah School? I don't know. I really don't know how I would learn it. It was said because it's been
Well,
such a
it's so funny you asked, Blair, because there's lots of schools out there, but they don't teach it. They teach it with famous people. They do a whole like 6-month program and they only use famous people's charts. Huh?
Mm.
So there's ways to learn it, but what a better way to say it is there's no way you would have learned to apply it to your own life so quickly and be able to make yourself an astrologer without
Yeah.
my school.
And the last thing I'll say is, astrology has not only transformed my personal life, it's transformed my marriage. It's transformed the way that I parent. It's transformed the way that I look at my family. It's legitimate. It's like Lisa and Jillian said, it changed my life in ways I never imagined, because to the the number one thing I could possibly say is because I applied it. I didn't just learn it, but then I learned it to apply it to transform my life, because I wasn't here to learn just another thing. There's 1,000 podcasts out there. There's 1,000 books out there. I didn't want to just do another thing to do another thing. I wanted to do another thing to change my life, not have a life-changing experience and do nothing about it.
Scorpio. I love it. To
Love
change, mic drop. Yeah, not just you want to change life, a life-changing experience that really does make a difference, and you continue it. And now you're obsessed. You're so obsessed. Mercury conjunct Pluto in the 11th house. She is so. And thank you so much. She read it. I was so scared. You guys, it's a funny game. It's one thing to study astrology. It's another thing to put yourself out. And the courage to do so comes because exactly what Blair just said. I love so much the feeling of serving the other. I mean, I don't know why else I would come here. This planet hurts me. I find it very painful here. And I kind of get like a headache with all the news. I mean, it's not like, oh, and today it's a good story. It's like every day, like, wow, it's an assault. And then there's this emotional story where you're walking on the street. It makes me so sad. I want to give everybody a tip that I go and have dinner with because they spent their whole night working for me and I didn't get to say thank. This whole planet is so bizarre. And the good news is we're at a turning point, and that's why the children are coming in right now. We are beginning to create a new world, and that's what my book is about, and that's what the school is about. But you have to become willing to fall in love with this place again. And that's what happened to me. And now I can't say thank you enough. And you know what the last line of my book is? Do you know why we live forever? Because it takes that long to say thank you.
What she said, it's what she wrote.
Validated by a Scorpio.
Thank you so much, Blair and Jillian, for being here with us and sharing your stories and being so vulnerable.
Yeah, that was very tender. There was so much vulnerability that came out in the last week. And
Mhm.
watching Blair and Garen and seeing the love affair between, there was two men. That was wild. Watching a medical doctor, Zach Bush, in love with Richard Rudd, who's a channeler. They were completely in love. It was crazy. We
This
got
is
to watch Colette Baron Reed and her husband. They were so in love. They were so cute.
so cute.
Got to watch Blue and her artist. They were like spending 2.5 years together making tarot cards.
And now we get to bless one more person, Deborah, with a very quick
We
laser
should let
astrology
Blair
session.
or Jillian do this, but okay, I'll do it.
Okay.
Because they both have the gift now. And you. Why am I always giving the reading?
We
And
have Jen joining us.
how did she get so lucky? Because she's a Gemini and Jupiter's on her sun right now. Jen.
I'm so excited. Oh my God.
Hi, Jen. How did you find us?
I've been following you for a while.
And you're so tickled because you're a double Gemini. Do you know astrology?
Not a lot, but I've been following because I want to learn.
I'll tell you why. Can you point to her Saturn? You're in Saturn return. Did you know that?
No.
But this is a very, very significant moment that is worthy of your attention. Every 30 years, anyone in this room who's 28 to 30 or 58 to 60, it's a moment in time, and it's been going on now for a year. So tell us, Jen, what's been going on?
I'm just so thrilled. I love you, Deborah. And I've been on your this free events since last year. And this morning I heard your interview with him, and you read my word, oneness, because I came to accept where I am because I was so down on what was happening to me in my life. But I came to accept you gotta be, like he said, you gotta not polarize, good and evil, darkness, light. And I decided to become one. And when my name was picked and when you said my oneness, I was like, Oh, I'm getting this. Because
I love it so much. That's what's happening in your chart right now. So you have Saturn return. I'm going to tell you to Google it. If you don't take the class and you don't buy the book or whatever you don't do, please Google Saturn return. Because
yes, I
what you're
will.
gonna, because it only happens once every 30 years, and it is the most remarkable entrance potentially to remember who we are.
I
People, go ahead.
I'm gonna find a way to take your school
Level one. Yeah,
because
that's what I mean. It's a marker where you will never forget. You'll take level one and you'll say it was a turning point. You've got Saturn in the house of the astrologer. It's in the 11th house. So Saturn is the planet of destiny, and we look to see what house, what sign, what element Saturn's in. That's all in the book. And the news is you are definitely here. Part of your challenge is you just always want to ask questions. You drive everybody crazy.
yes,
You're just
too many questions.
It's so important. That's the sign that you're awake. So please don't stop. You're awake and wait till you see what our word is for today. So oneness, thank you from bringing your cultural representation to a world that doesn't see any color lines, or the 13th sign has no distinction about where we're from or what our religion is or what we look like. All it matters is that we're a family and that we're doing our best to diminish the old structure and the old hierarchy and start entering into a world of peace brought to us by stars. I love that story. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you. You're the three magi who follow the stars. You're a magician, changing lives.
I was looking for Jesus and then I found out he's right here in my heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This means so much to me.
Thank you, Jen. Okay, Deborah, let's share our final bonus code for our live breakthrough session. And it
Isn't
is
that funny, Lisa, that I just said awake?
so perfect.
It's so funny. So, yes, if you tell them this story, and there's something specific that I was asked to tell. Looking for
Yes,
it.
so first let's just go over this really quick. If you go to astrologycontest.com and you enter in this bonus code, you'll get your 5 bonus entries for tuning in with us today. And then over to our next slide. So for anyone who has purchased or purchases multiple books, we're going to give you a code for additional entries. But what you need to do is text the number right here and enter the keyword IDBIA for I don't believe in astrology. And then we will send you a specific bonus code that's worth an extra 5 points. But you need to do that today so that you can get those bonus entries in, because we'll be back on Tuesday for a social live to announce the winners. So there you go. And if you missed anything or you need to like jot information down, this replay will be available for you in a couple hours at the most. Our team is going to get that out as fast as we can, and the rest of our replays will be up for through the weekend. So snag all those points that you can. And Deborah, thank you so much for
I feel like when these come to an end, is this really the end?
it. Yeah, but it feels so weird, doesn't it?
It was like taking so much energy, and now all of a sudden I'm like, don't go, don't go. It's
Yeah.
the feeling of intimacy, one of the gifts that I've carried throughout this life. And it is kind of mysterious, although I could point to my chart that it's my 8th house sun, but I can't really, maybe it's my Cancer midheaven. Whenever I'm with people, I notice that everyone cuddles more and they get a little closer and they start to feel really good. And I thought for a while, like, is there something wrong with me that I'm just so needy? Like, why do I want to touch everybody and want to cuddle? And then I realized, no, I am so in love and I'm contagious, and it's the spirits that hang out around me. I think they're funny and they're in love and they're energetic and they're contagious. So they're coming to your house and they're watching you. Did she sign up? Because they send more stars and cuddles with you. Yes, I do, John. I have Neptune in the 1st house. Thank you so much. Can you repeat the number for the text somebody asked?
Yes, let me pull that up for everyone. It is 276 566 5975.
Just put the slide back on, that would help.
Yes, but again, you can always reference back in the replay if you've missed anything. So including like that amazing bonus package that we have for this
There it
pre-enrollment
is.
period.
Donna just put it there, 276-566-5975. Thank
And
you.
we're going to close out with that song from India RE. But before we do, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone, Deborah, all of our team, a person that showed up for this event, all of our guests, because it wouldn't be what it was without any of us.
And please stay for this whole song because this is the entrance of your observer.
I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Ooh. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all.